Hi, this is John Goyak, chairman of the Goyak Group and the master game changer at Reframe Your Game. Hey, I'd like to talk about our markets, uh, especially in our aerospace, defense, national security markets, the challenges ahead of us, and why we think we're different and why we do as well as we do, even given tough times in the market space. So, the challenges we're all facing today is most of my clients will tell you that they just don't have the level of customer intimacy that's required to build outstanding relationships. And it's challenging from a number of reasons. One is the customers are new to the game in many cases. Their staff isn't very seasoned, number one. Number two, everybody's worried about protests and the like. And number three, our business development people and the people who interface with our clients, their customers, don't really have the ability or the tools and the behavior styles to be able to get the most out of every interchange. And by that I mean the customer gets the most and the client gets the most. And so we spend a lot of time working with our clients to make sure we have a good customer management plan. I said management, not contact, for a reason. Contact's interesting, management's important. You manage perceptions, you manage brand, you manage your offering, you manage the customer's expectation set. That's what business development is about. It's not this kind of go meet and greet, find out when the RFP's coming out, sort of thing that so many people do. Second thing is, we're facing LPTA. LPTA came up as a way for the government to try to avoid protests, to say good enough is good enough, and to really take themselves out of the risk game. So nobody's putting their reputation or their careers on the line. Lowest, lowest price wins. If you've got a technically simple offer, we tend to push on, and we try to push on with our clients and their customers, LPTE, low price, technically excellent, because we believe we're here for one reason, that's to protect this country and to get the best solutions in the hands of our people, our soldiers, our sailors, our Marines, and our airmen, and in our analysts, and all the agencies to do the right thing and be able to do what's right for this country. So, and you find out that when it's stamped on the body of your rifle, provided by the lowest bidder, you got a problem, and you worry about if things go fire or not. So the other thing is that IDIQ wins. We've had customers and clients win task orders worth billions of dollars, and after a year, they've got no dollars out of it. And just to remind your clients, one is that winning a task order simply means you got a chance to spend more money, more time to win money, win more, work harder, win again. And the other thing that's interesting is when you're in a task order and you're operating on an IDIQ under an IDIQ vehicle, the challenge then is to how do you use that as a vehicle to grow your footprint and to really work with your customer to make sure they get what they want. So task order comes out and you go around, and people think that the key to winning a task order is being able to turn a document around in 10 or 20 days. That's not the way it works. The key to winning a task order is to have presence and have that relationship with your customer to help you co-create the right solutions that they need so they can ask the right questions so they get the right answer. Why wouldn't you? Hear all the time, wow, this thing just popped up. That's really just a symptom of a lack of customer intimacy, and it's a shame. It really truthfully is, because we've had incumbents say, "Wow, they just came out with an RFP yesterday, and we didn't even know it was coming out," or draft RFP, or sources sought, or whatever. That just there's no excuse for that. You're in there, you're working every day. Your job is to make your customer successful, make them a hero, and deliver on your promises. Period. That's why we're there. Recompetes are every day these days, and too often you find the incumbents get thrown out. There's some reasons for that. One is customers are like shiny new toys, like all of us, right? We like new answers. The second thing is we don't manage our relationships with our customers. We don't manage our performance. Why would you do that? So when you win a job, the recompete starts day one. You start positioning because you must give them outstanding service. You must continue. You must build that relationship over that period of time. A, to either forestall a recompete, or B, to make sure the axiomatic winner. So again, when you're on a job, you tend to be down and in, and you tend not to look up and see the obvious white spaces that are around you and the things that lead to a customer being dissatisfied, launching a recompetition, and being willing to take a look at other potential offers. Internally, we all have limited resources, and we've downsized, right size, left size, right size, whatever. We've done it, and we've done it to ourselves. And we had done it because of budget constraints, sequestration, you name it. This administration has been terrible for us. But the challenge is that when you declare a must win, when you have something that's really critical to your company, to give a guy yet another assignment doesn't make a lot of sense, because you're going to get limited performance. You're going to get an answer that doesn't work. You're going to get your people stressed out. You're not doing your company a service, nor your people a service. So again, identify the resources and commit them. That's what we coach our clients through to do. Say, look, if you had to make a choice today, if you had $1 to spend, where would you spend it? So let's behave like that. And then, of course, follow on with that is expertise gaps. So many of our clients simply don't have the expertise they used to have. They're either new companies who are just rolling up on opportunities and with new customers and they don't understand, or the people have just left and retired. And we've lost a lot of expertise over the past few years, and we're going to continue to do so. So what we do is the people who come in with our teams, all of our people have domain expertise, they have business development expertise, and sometimes I call ourselves spackle, company spackle. We will fill the gaps you have. But the most important thing is to really understand, we help our clients understand what their true gaps are and help them establish some strategies to fill those gaps. So we get it, and we've done everything to shift our style, our offerings, to be able to respond to this thing. We succeed because we have a formula we use, and we've been doing this for years. We partner with our clients. What that means is we'll sit down with our clients, go through their portfolio, understand what relates to what businesses, opportunities really relate to each other, where best to spend $1 of IRAD or $1 of marketing or whatever, and take a look, see what the total payoff is. I say all the time, I want to spend $1 here, but I want to have $10,000 payoff or $1 million payoff down the road. When you start to do that, when you engage with your clients that way, you start to see how they think, they see how you think, and things get done more quickly, they're done more precisely, and you win. It works. Again, I said earlier on the chart, the previous chart, that we fill people with business expertise and domain expertise at every opportunity. Because why wouldn't you? I mean, my God, you're counting on us to influence or give you guidance on a business decision about your company that means 20 jobs or 100 jobs or 1,000 jobs or you name it for your company and shareholder value and on and on. My God, why wouldn't you get a pro? You don't want a process monkey to go do that. You want somebody who's been there, who's done that, has had P&L responsibility, and frankly, who will act as if he owned your company, because that's the decision aperture you want your advice to you coming through. So, and when we engage, we put the right resources on at the right time. And other companies give you a team of 10 guys or whatever, they live with you forever. You don't need to do that. What you need is, what do I need when? And so we like to engage early and at a low PRF. And then we decide, we work with you to decide what the ramp up wants to be, and we manage that, because we understand budgets aren't infinite and everybody's under tremendous pressure to control costs. And we honor that, and we work with our clients to be able to do that. We continually innovate. We totally reinvent ourselves all the time. We challenge ourselves all the time to lightweight our processes, and B, to come up with new stuff to give our clients the edge. And that's what we've done for 20 years. And we're going to continue to do that, because that's how we play. That's what I believe in. I want to be the competitive advantage, the competitive edge for our clients. And so we continually push ourselves. We create new things. We create opportunities to excel. We create opportunities to insert a new strategy, a new approach, a new dynamic to change the game, because that's what it's about. If you don't change the game, you're playing on a playing field that somebody else has changed. Why would you do that? We bring discipline as well. I mean, we're not just a bunch of cowboys running around, but you got to get things done, and discipline starts way early. Your customer management engagements need to be very disciplined. You need to document that feedback. Your strategy sessions, everything has to be documented, passed on to the teams so they can use the information. And it's just a shame that we have red teams. It's a shame there's not a clear line of continuity from the early engagements through the early capture activities into the proposal, and just a waste of money, a waste of time, and it just doesn't need to happen. Everything we do, absolutely everything we do with passion, because that's how we live. That's how we breathe. We love this game, and we love to win. We've been winning over 80% since 1994, guys, and so there's a reason we do that, and there's a reason, lots of people burn out, lots of people are gone, lots of companies don't exist anymore. But we're still here because we're passionate about what we do. We believe in what we do, and we've seen the difference it makes to our clients and their people, and that's just important to us. And lastly, I came up with a phrase a long time ago: no cancer, CAN''TSWER. So often you hear what you can't do. We'd say, got to find a way, and we help our clients go and understand and really stretch to find a way to make it happen, when sometimes they're just convinced they can't, because you always can. You can always find a way. You just need to get creative, you need to get passionate, you get intense, and you work it. And that's what we're about. So we succeed because that's the way we just force ourselves to play, because that's who we are. It's not a matter of force, actually. It's just that's our DNA. That's how we show up. And I believe we do what others don't do. I think we've got some unique offerings and some unique ways of coming at problems. And it's not just a bunch of processes or a master schedule or something like that. We do capture interdiction. We go in and I've shut down projects, proposals, campaigns, because client didn't have its act together. And so we make some tough calls, and people say, well, how do you know how to do that? I've been doing this for 34 years. I've seen every single failure mode possible. So, and our people who are on our staff, they've been in the game a long time as well. We've seen it all. We've been there. And so, again, when you're in the fray, sometimes you don't understand how badly you're bleeding. And capture addiction is a very important thing that we go do. Because if you don't have the right offering, you don't have the right answer, you don't have the right people, you don't have the right level of customer intimacy, you don't know what your customer's thinking, what are you bidding for? What are you spending $1 on? Makes no sense. We do competition readiness reviews. And it's so important. People, they go through gate reviews and all that sort of stuff. And so I'm so tired of hearing, well, we got to shut the team down this week because we got to prepare a gate package for our executives. Come on, guys. That ought to be just a pop out of what you're doing. And if it's not, then you got to ask yourself, why isn't it? Why do I have to go and prepare all these dog and pony charts for my boss? And by the way, I've rarely sat through a gate review where the team is presented adequate, precise data to make a business decision. There's always a lot of emotion. We're blue, they're red, da 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 da. It's all bullshit, guys. So what we do is we come in as an independent third party, take a look at it, and say, yep, nope, got to do this, and we'll tell you exactly, precisely the actions to take to fill your gaps and get really set up and primed to go go to the hoop hard. And why not? Why wouldn't you do that? We've done dozens of win-loss analyses, and so often people say, well, we lost because of price or whatever, the customer didn't like us. Again, an outsider coming in and looking at the data is going to give you a much better and much more reliable answer than an internal team that's trying to figure out how they preserve their jobs or whatever. And it's not, we don't come in with, totally bent on getting somebody fired or whatever. That's not the point. The point is we want you to fix what's broken. And we want to take a long, broader look than, hey, we lost our last 2 bids, blah, blah, blah. What are you doing institutionally? How do you behave? How does the customer perceive you? How does the community perceive you? That's important to understand. The game plan process I developed in the late 90s is what I believe a fundamental to changing the game. It's a methodical, logical process that says, here's where the customer is, here's where we need them to be, and here's how we get it moved. And changing the game is what it's all about. Nobody ever gets the perfect RFP, but sometimes you do. And that's because you work the game. And game plan simply enables you to bulletproof your offering, to test your offering, and to make sure that you come up with the best answer, the best solution, the best solution space your customer has in mind. We have a concept we developed called proposal architecting. And this really, we developed it to be able to fill the gap that seems to happen all the time between all the business development strategy work that goes on to the proposal work. So what we do is dial it in. We take the artifacts and all the good data that's been developed, and we make a map, an architecture, if you will, of how we deploy all those messages, deploy all that good data, so that when you finally get writers or your team in, it's very prescriptive. It says here's how here are the messages. Go build this analysis. Go build this piece of graphic. Here's what I want to say, and so you don't have people going around trying to find the wrong rock all the time, which happens so often because everything's on the server and just go look for it. That doesn't work. So it's a way to get a more affordable, more precise, more accurate, and a more rapid solution and proposal development process going. We do part of that game plan and proposal architecting is constant black hat wargaming. I want to know, what if those guys do this? What if they do? What the competitor does that? What if this changes? You constantly want to do that because, man, you're not standing still, or maybe you are, and that's bad, by the way. But your competition certainly isn't standing. They're trying their best to change the game to their advantage. So constantly pushing and say, what if they do this? What if they do this? How would I beat me? And ask yourself those kinds of things. Get you fresh, creative, and constantly challenging your assumptions, because assumptions will kill you. That's what they do. One of the things we came up with a long time ago was, because I was just so tired of red teams coming in and saying, wow, this is the wrong outline, or not reading the evaluation criteria and saying, well, you're not telling your story or whatever. And so came up with a concept called on-project reviews, and it's amazing the feedback you get. What it means is take your team, your proposal team, and normally they go to the beach or whatever they go do, go answer emails and all the phone calls that have backed up while they've been working on your proposal, right, is to go and assign them to go read your friggin' proposal. I mean, I've been on teams where the team has never read the proposal they submitted, and it's the one they have to execute to if they're so privileged to be selected. So we do thread reads on them. And so read across all the books, all the volumes for risk or for cost or for whatever topic you want is really critical to your offering. And you'd be surprised. The feedback, the content you get out of those reviews blows away anything I've ever seen on a red team. And so it's not just a bunch of guys sitting around opining and eating big cookies. It's people who understand they've been part of the process and now they're being asked to do a different role. And by the way, they like it because it's different. And they get to use another part of their brain they haven't used as they've been just grinding out text and art for the past few weeks or whatever. So really critical. Day in the life of, we developed that a long time ago. One of my first projects I did, I just decided that was the right way to do it. Went into a company and it had a whole new bunch of players, and they had no clue how they were going to run the job. So, Ditlows have been around forever. We used to use them for here's all the steps you go through to deploy a solar array. And so you document that, and that's the way you write your scripts and your test scripts and things like that. But when you do it, when you say, okay, how are we going to run this job? If you go through a series of Ditlows on your 4 or 5 critical processes, there's your management volume. And by the way, you'll surprise yourself because you'll find that, wow, we really didn't understand how we're going to run this job. And it's critically important, I think, especially for a management volume, because the ultimate aim of management volume is to have your customer close your book and say, yeah, they get it. I know how they're going to run this job. And that's the burden of a management volume. So Ditlo enables you to go through your core processes. I remember back in the day, I set some guys down, all the senior leaders down, and I said, okay, here's the deal. Let's do a change board. So I just got a change request from the customer. What do I do? And the vice president of manufacturing says, I take it and I go do it. I said, whoa, way wrong. And so we actually ran a change board, actually went through the process, documented, and that was the configuration management, change management section in the proposal. That's just one example, but we've done it many, many times. And it just causes you to think through the process and explain it to your customer. Because too often we say, we're going to use our standard best practices. They don't know what that means. They want to know how we're going to, who do I call? How's this get done? Who's responsible? Who's accountable? That's what they want to know, and that's what we owe our customers in our proposals. So another interesting thing that came up a long time ago was called scenario-based design and demonstration. What that's about is at a program where they had no KPPs, and so they just were buying a satellite that did this, or a set of satellites that did this, that had this kind of power down. So wait a minute, man, what's the mission? What are we doing? And so I said, okay, what are the 20 things we can't do today? Let's go through all the DoD and agency and other sorts of requirements, and that I really can't do today that I'd like to do, that the system can perform to. And if you then map that out against the key performance parameters, whether it's SAPS, whether it's SAR, revisit rates, whatever your parameters are, and you say, okay, to do this mission, I need to be able to do this, 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 and this. When you start to map that out, it becomes very clear what the driving requirements are. It becomes very clear what's going to break the system. It's going to be very clear what you can't do. Okay, so now all of a sudden, what's most important, or what your driving requirements are, pops out. And now, by the way, you can sit down and have a conversation with your customer that's intelligent and that's based on facts and data about what their requirements are doing in the system, and how, if you tweak this, if you do this, then you can get this mission performance. And the other beauty of it is, as you get to the end of this little matrix, it says, okay, so where's this technology to be able to do this? At what level of what TR level or what maturity level is this capability at? Because then it says, okay, I can demonstrate this by analysis, because we kind of get it. We've done some other things before, got it. But this thing I need to put a demo on. To prove this, I need to demonstrate that. What that does is that enables you, to have a great conversation with your customer relative to, do you really want to push the envelope on technology, or where are you relative to risk? What a great conversation to have. The other thing it says is, okay, this is what I have to go and demonstrate. This is where I go spend $1. If I had $1 to spend, I would go spend it on this, because it absolutely bears on the performance, demonstrating the performance of our solution, this system. So it's just a really amazing, different way of looking at the problem. And again, the more different ways you look through all of your problem sets in your solution spaces, the better your offering gets, the better conversations you have with your customers, and the better you're going to do. So years ago, I decided that what we do for when we're engaged with our customers is really not optimum. And optimal. So came up with two concepts. One is, I said, look, let's go I always want to put two things together that never been put together before to create something new in a space. So I went and got a friend of mine who was a master trainer for Tony Robbins. And I said, look, Joe, you and I sit down, let's build a new way of training people how to do orals and how to communicate with their customers. And we changed the game. We have customers that we will never go to war without you guys, because it really is a different way of presenting you and your teams and your offerings to your customers. And so it really focuses on you, because think about what orals are. Orals sometimes, I get jaded and say, the customer just doesn't read your proposal, and so they just want to be briefed on it. That's not what it's about. What it's really about is they want to understand the people that they're going to be lashed to the hip with for the next 5 years or how long, to work through their problems and develop a new capability, whatever it is. They want to know how you play. They want to know if they can trust you. I mean, there's so many things that happen in an interpersonal relationship. And orals, if you just sit there and read your charts, you're missing every opportunity possible. And so let me just prove it to you. Think about the last briefing you sat through. Tell me what was on slide 3. Tell me what was on slide 10. Tell me who the company was. But what you can tell me is how you felt when you walked out. These guys have game. They don't know what they're doing. Wow, there's a bunch of challenges here they don't even understand. You walk away with how you feel. So based on that, just fact, we came up with a new way of doing orals and coming up with your presentations and your way you present your data that really does make you the team that the customer wants to work with. That's what it's all about from our perspective. The other thing is that growing out of that is, it became very obvious that people just didn't know how to talk to their customers. In fact, I had a vice president ask me, "Can you help me? Because my guys can't talk. They can't have a good conversation. I can't get anything out of my customers because they don't know how to talk to their customers." So we developed a 2-day session called Creating the Competitive Edge, and it's all about getting the maximum out of every engagement with your customer. Because it's critical. Why would you go see somebody just to have coffee with them and ask them when the RFP is coming out, or how much money's in the FIDEP, or blah, blah, blah? That's bullshit. So we totally turned that inside out and have created something that really enables you and your people to have just amazing interchanges with the customer, make a difference, create change, and really move them from where they are to where they need to be, and into your space. So it's a very powerful capability that we've got. And then finally, we've got one of my passions is we've developed a decision support suite that runs on an engine called Rapiplan, and it's just truly remarkable. It enables the full, total integration of cost, schedule, performance, and risk out of your client's data, using all their native data and project and all that sort of stuff to be able to take your program and optimize it, to be able to understand what the connections are. It's truly remarkable. We developed it because so many times people can, well, I got a $5 million haircut, on the first year. What happens? And when I was back in the game in the day, we would send 10 engineers off. They'd go pencil whip something had absolutely no relationship to reality or the data in the program or the proposal. But we came up with an answer. This enables you to really truthfully understand the implications of the decisions you make. It enables you to say also, wow, okay, this is really sensitive to this input, this factor. So you've been able to now go have a really powerful conversation with your customer. It says, I got it. Here's the answer, and we can do this. But you know what? If you gave me another month, or if you slip this a week, or if you could accelerate some funding, you get a much better solution. What an amazing conversation. And it's data-based. It's based on your data, your discussion with your customer. And by the way, it's helpful when things are on fire. You got a burning platform problem that says, wow, I got to figure out a workaround because I just burned out a box in test, or I just I couldn't get this deployed in time, or whatever. My subs are late. So now you could be able to go back and talk to your customer with facts and data about here's what happened, here's what we're doing about it, and here's what the impacts are, and they can believe you because you've that framework. It's all based on your data, and it's something that you're routinely going over with your customer. So you get it. So it's an external artifact versus something that's just, I'm sorry, sometimes we just make stuff up, and that's wrong. So it's an incredibly powerful tool and capability that enables you to make the right business decisions. And figure this. So if you're on a fixed price contract, wouldn't you want to be able to control your own destiny? So it just makes so much sense in so many applications across the board, and it enables you to go and do trades. It enables you to say, wow, if I reduce the power output of this satellite or whatever, here's what happens, and so this is when I can block insert something because it doesn't screw with the line. There's all sorts of incredible positive capabilities that come out of the Rapiplan approach, and I really encourage you to follow up on that one. So bottom line, here's how we play. We put our emphasis on positioning. We win early and often, and that's when you have to play. Do we do proposals? Absolutely. We do the best proposals around, and we win a lot. That's great. But unless you're positioned to win, then you're taking a risk that you're going to be able to express your golden nugget in that much text in a technical volume or a management volume or whatever, or on a graphic. And I don't want to go there. And I don't think you do either. You don't want to take those sorts of chances. So getting out early in front of the customer, getting your solutions identified, testing them. Wouldn't you want to know what his or her tolerance is for risk or for schedule or for technology? Man, if they really want to be a bleeding edge solution, you better know that. And if they want a no risk solution, you better know that too, and you better have an answer for it. So getting out early enables you to test your solution, your approach, your team, your program manager, your company, your reputation. Worked a job one time, and we were just slammed. We had a huge team working, and guys went down, seniors went down, and they briefed the general. And the first question he asked after their briefing was, why would I give this CBRN, so Chem Bio job, an interesting job, to an IT company? And they didn't have a good answer. The rest of the meeting, they said, went great. And so they came back. When they came back up, I said, so how'd it go? And they said, well, it was really, really great, man. High five and all that sort of stuff. But, the first question was kind of weird. And when they told us, I said, stop, we need to shut this thing down now. because that is a killer. That's a death knell. We need to rebrand ourselves. You can't rebrand overnight. You need the lead time away to be able to go test, put measures in place, and then communicate them to your customer to change the game. Another thing we do always is we bulletproof our offerings. We constantly challenge our assumptions. We constantly say, well, what if they did this? What if the customer did this? What if our competitors did this? How would we blunt that? How would we counter that? And it just enables you to take embed every measure in your customer management plan as well as your proposal when you get around to that. Because remember, a proposal simply confirms what the customer already knows. Your proposal is the source of the briefing charts, if you will, or the argument, if you will, that when he or she has to go up and brief the general, the admiral, whomever, the source selection official, that we pick these people because. So so it just simply confirms and then closes the deal. And if you don't close the deal, then you're leaving your customer hanging out, and they don't like it. I've talked about process a couple times. We have an amazing process, and we've lightweighted it over time to get more and more effective. We do. It's very intense, hands-on, one-on-one. We don't send people out to go fill out a bunch of goofy forms and come back 3 days later with the wrong rock. We focus on boiler rooms. We focus on reviews. I talked about the on-project review earlier, but we know where we are at each time in the process as we mature our products up through to the final deliverable product, and that's critical. You got to know where you are at all times. So we use boiler rooms to develop our proposals typically, versus again sending somebody off to go find the wrong rock. And again, since our people have domain and business development and campaign expertise, you get a better answer each time out, and our record shows that. And people often say, well, we great proposal, now we have to go do orals, or we'll just wait around till the ENs come out, or we'll just grind our price down in an FPR. Guys, you can lose in each of those. We treat each of those as vitally important, critical game changers. And you can't fail. Just like you can't fail in the initial submittal, you can't fail anywhere along the way, because you can lose at every one of those opportunities. And so we treat ENs like they're the promised land. We treat orals as I talked earlier about. This is the opportunity to demonstrate you know your stuff and you can deliver. And so we use each of those as an opportunity to ramp up our clients' P-win. And that's how we play. And we win early, we win often, we win throughout the process, from, hey, I've got a cool idea, to, hey, we're going to go negotiate a contract tomorrow. So that's how the Goyak Group plays. And again, I think we do a better job than anybody in the marketplace, and I think we do things differently. In our record, as I said, over 80% since 1994, not many people can say that. And that doesn't include dropkick study contracts and stuff like that. This is real game-changing, anywhere from $100 million to $20 billion plus deals. And so when we work with our clients, we let them know that all we're there to do is win. We only have one objective, and we don't want work after the contract's executed. We don't play those kinds of games. We come in, we play hard ball every day, because you have to. The opportunities are getting fewer, and the jobs are vitally important to you and your company. So with that, just want to say God bless you all. Thanks for listening, and you make a great day. John Goyak, signing out.